Welcome back. Big Paws Canine Rescue offers a variety of services, and they even train service dogs.
Joining us this morning to discuss some of these services is Gail Dickerson, and she is joined with Kelly Smith and George. George is very comfy already. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Can you talk a little bit about what you all do?
Yep, we train and donate service dogs for disabled veterans and former first responders. We do our best to use rescue dogs as often as possible.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, where do those dogs come from? And so if you're using rescue dogs, is that a different challenge? I know some service dogs start training as puppies. Do you have any selection on age or where they?
We don't have an age restriction. We don't have a breed restriction. So what we look for is certain characteristics in the dog. And generally speaking, when dogs are in development, they go through so many stages before they hit 2 years old that it's kind of a guessing game. Mm-hmm. So the dogs that I like to use are usually 18 months and older.
Okay. I guess, how do you think a service dog can really benefit veterans or anybody, maybe anybody really?
Well, by definition, a service dog is a dog that's individually trained to do work or perform a task to assist a person with a disability. Mm-hmm. Our dogs are trained to do 150 different commands. Wow. So they can do anything from retrieving medication to reminding someone to take medication, grabbing small items from the floor, because some of our veterans have issues with mobility. We have dogs that will wake people up when their sleep apnea machine is not working properly. We have dogs that will wake people up from nightmares. We have dogs that go out in public with their handler. In the case of post-traumatic stress, going out in public is very, very difficult. So giving someone who's coping with that a service dog to go out in public with them opens up the world to them again.
Yeah, and George has been the best boy since he's been here. Nice, and he, you wouldn't even know he was there. Is there any sort of, hesitations people have when it comes to, inquiring about a service dog?
Are you talking about if a person is looking to get a service dog?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I would say that the first qualification is somebody has to have a recognized disability. Mm-hmm. And then they have to determine whether a dog would fit into their life. And then we would have to figure out what the dog would be able to do to help them in their life. So there's a lot of things that go into consideration before somebody would consider getting a service dog, because it's not this end product. This end product is years in the making. And one of the reasons that we brought George today is because this is what you should see with a service dog. Mm-hmm. One of the things you had mentioned is the biggest compliment we could ever get when people see us leave somewhere and they go, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even know there was a dog in here." That is the biggest compliment we can get, because it means that the dog was doing what it was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. That was the reason I kind of asked that question, is because, there's some people who see a dog, and there was a video recently where someone was upset because the dog was in a store, but obviously it was a service dog that was there for a need. And so I can see why some people might be hesitant, but I just know these guys give a lot of great benefits, like you mentioned, to their handlers. And so how can people reach out to you if they're interested in contacting you and seeing if they could be eligible for a service dog through your company?
Well, you can go to our website. We are www.bigpawscanine.com. Mm-hmm. And they can fill out an application. There's also a customer email, so if they just have questions, they don't really know if they're ready to go through the application process, and we're more than happy to correspond with them and figure out if that's the best route for them to take at this time.
Is there any other ways people can support you guys or help out and volunteer, anything like that?
Absolutely. We always welcome volunteers. Mm-hmm. We're currently in the process of building a brand new training facility in Hartford. We had leased a facility, and that got very, very expensive. So now we have our own facility. So we always need volunteers to help out to complete the building. We do exercises where the dogs have to walk through crowds of strangers. So the opportunities are endless.
Sounds like they're really well trained, and we've learned so much, and it's great to hear about all of these accomplishments that these guys can do for
Yeah,
their human
crazy.
owners. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining and sharing
Well,
with us
thank you
today.
for having us.
And we're going to be right back after the break.